Got a 68 Telecaster here, and I'm shielding it and putting the original pickups back in, taking some DiMarzios out. Now, I told the owner that while shielding will help with environmental noise, 60 cycle hum is what it is, and he may prefer the DiMarzios, but he wants to revisit the originals. He's not heard them in several years, and that's cool. Let's do that. I can always put the DiMarzios back, or we could look at other options. But since this is a 1968, and that market is crazy, I didn't want to put shielding paint in this guitar, which is what I do on a new guitar. So I went with this adhesive back copper foil, because if someone wants it out, it peels out. There's no big deal. There's no permanent damage to the guitar. So I took everything out, and I cleaned all the old pockets and stuff with some naphtha, got all the old dirt and grime and little bits of sawdust from 1968 out. And once that had all evaporated, and I was sure there was no crumbs or bits or any yuck in there, I did the copper foil, and I did little bits of solder here and there to reinforce it to itself. The real tricky bit is getting the tubes, the copper foil covered tubes that go from one cavity to the next. But I've got continuity from every point to every point. And once the pickguard, bridge, and control plate are in place, except for over by the input jack, which is pretty much shielded as it is, there's just no real way to get that shielded without taking that little weird clamp thing that they do on Tele output jacks out. It's really hard to put back in. So this thing will be fully shielded, and if a collector ever wants it gone, it takes about 10 minutes to pull it all out. We've got the springs here for the neck pickup back in place. I'm about to shield the back of the pick guard and put it all together with the new pickups and measure those and all that. But I was looking at the guitar, and some of this I wanted to share with you guys because it's cool, and there's one other thing I want to do while I have the guitar here. This is cool when you have an old guitar like this. Here you get a hint of the original color, which is very much a blonde, semi-transparent. And here where there have been stickers, you can tell that these stickers were put on later than this sticker. This sticker was put on when the whole guitar had darkened to this color. And then these footprint stickers tragically were added to the guitar when the whole guitar had reached this color. And those stickers were in place for a long time, and the rest of the guitar darkened up here. Some real, almost looks burned here. This guitar was really dirty in a really smoky environment for a really long time. And this poly finish wears off in great big chips like this, and in time, the transition gets smoothed by your arm here. In places where your arm doesn't go as much, the transition is still kind of rough. Here where there was this chip beneath the pickguard, you can see that big flake finish there. The wood itself is fine underneath that jack. That's just what can happen if the poly changes temperature. So this is what a polyester finish or fitter relics like. And I'm not going to go off on my anti-relicing rant. But I thought it'd be also cool to show you guys what else I'm going to do and some other stuff about this guitar. These are the original tuners, the F-style tuners, and some of them have gotten really hard to turn, and some of them are real sloppy and move around too much. And I looked around. This A and this D are the worst, and those are kind of crucial. I looked around, and sets of these in good condition go for $250 to $300 and up, which is crazy. They're not great tuners. And there are new reissues of these for like $50, and people were doing relics of these. And look at this. This is from 1968. This is a 53-year-old guitar, 54-year-old guitar. I'm not good at math on the fly. They don't look that far from new. I could probably polish these up and they look brand new. All the relic tuners out there, my God, what environment are they trying to emulate? Because if you look at the rest of this guitar, this thing has seen things, man. This guitar has lived it. The finish on the neck is darkened to the point where it's almost like a roasted maple neck. Look at that pretty little bit of figure coming out of that flat sawn. The finish is almost all worn off on the back, except for where you don't touch it. But after all that, these tuners don't look, all grayed out and grimy and dark and blotchy. People relic things to a standard that just really doesn't exist for the most part. Anyway, I think if I take these off the guitar and give them a naphtha bath and then hit them with some trifle and really pack it in, I should be able to get these working pretty well. We shall see. Also cool while it's here, while it needs probably a new fret level and crown and dressing, because these frets have got some wear in them, and the nut's too high. The slots are right high, but there's just too much excess on top. This guitar has really been played. Let me focus on this. These are not just wear marks. These are actually little pits in the wood from someone's finger for 50-something years. This guitar is the real deal as far as a relic. And, no big dings. I think there's plenty of life left in those frets after a fresh dress and get those little notches out. But this is realistic. And if this had been done in nitro instead of poly, I think it would have had a lot less finish loss over the years, because the nitro doesn't chip and flake the way the poly does. Wouldn't this guitar be pretty if the whole thing was just this ash with the clear coat, though? That's really pretty. The grain's got a nice quality to it. It really kind of shimmers. Anyway, let me finish this up and we'll see what it sounds like. And I'm going to check my stash of Triflow oil. I think I've got enough to do the tuners. All right, the tuners are apart. The main issue that they had was not any problems with the worms or gears or the metal, or even here where the metal's worn a little bit on the inside of these cases from contact with the worm gear. It was the old lubricant was just ossified, petrified. It had a consistency like semi-dry Play-Doh, and so it would turn a little bit, but it was just getting wedged in places. There were some hard lumps throughout. So all that is gone. 2 naphtha baths and a long treatment in the ultrasonic later, and they're pretty damn clean. All the stuff is out, and I can get some new white lithium grease or some other suitable mechanical grease and put them back together. The issue is the high E tuner. You can see in the earlier part of this video that it was mushed together. Probably just the guitar had been dropped or banged into a wall or something, and it had collapsed here. And when I took the 2 screws out that hold the tuner to the guitar so it could just fall out of the headstock into my hand, I heard a ping, and as it fell, let's see if I can get this to focus, as it fell through the bushing, let's see, focus, as it fell through the bushing, they just hit the bushing, I guess just the magical way, and that stress bit of metal in there, which is essentially not very good metal, you can see the grain of it, just broke off. So a long time ago, someone smashed this guitar into the ground or a wall or something, and it had collapsed the split shaft, and then just one more little ding, and it broke. So I wasn't doing anything which should have been possible to break a tuner, but it happened, and I've got to call into the owner to see what our best options are. I can replace just the one tuner with a vintage tuner. I can get a whole set of Schallers, brand new ones, the same tuner, though they don't have the F on them anymore, or I can get the new Schallers and transfer the F from these old ones and the buttons from these old ones to the new ones, or I could just do that on the one missing one. So I will talk to the owner and see what he wants to do before I go to any more hassle on these. But these, aside from the one with this broken split shaft, should be good for many, many more years once they're reassembled with some new lubricant. All right, this 68 Tele is almost done. I'll tell you what's left in a little bit. And I'm running it through this 69 Deluxe Reverb, one of two I've got here. I thought was a very apt pairing. That Deluxe Reverb, last time you heard it, had a bad reverb driver, the AT7 and V3. I've got a JJ in there for now. The JAN Philip should arrive today. That amp will be finished up. But it sounded really, really good overall. There might be some single coil noise here and there in the video. This is a very noisy electrical environment. Even with the shielding, the single coil hum. So I'll just try to stay over here where it's least. In some environments, it'll be less than this. Some environments, more. The tone, however, is great. They're a little bit microphonic, but the owner does not play a lot of heavy metal, so I think he'll be okay. The tuners came out really well, all but the G string, I would say. The G string still has some stiffness, and the low E is the one with that broken split shaft, because I knew I could get away with the broken shaft with the large wound string. So I found a replacement for this on Reverb. It's a tuner from like a 72. And when it gets here, it will also get cleaned and re-lubricated and put where the low E is. And then I'm going to mix and match parts between this damaged low E tuner and the stiff G and try to make a non-stiff G. And I'm avoiding a lot of bad jokes right now. But anyway, it's holding tune well. All the others work much better than they did, probably have since 1980. Speaking of 1980, I learned that this guitar used to belong to one of the guitarists in Eddie Rabbitt's band. He was primarily the pedal steel player, but he also played electric, and this was what he used with Eddie Rabbitt. He's the guy who put those stickers on there. I am told that there are videos of this guitar on YouTube. I did a quick look and I didn't see any, but I'm sure they're out there. So if any of you are just really big Eddie Rabbitt fans, here you go. So it's shielded. I took out the bright cap, which was a painful thing, added on these 68s. I mean, it was only the year before that they went from the old wiring to the modern. So in a 66, it would have been tuba, neck, bridge. Now it's neck, bridge, like people are used to. But they had a really aggressive 1 nanofarad bright cap on there that was painful. I changed that to just having the tone circuit on the wiper. It gives a nice balanced sound. However, this original volume pot has an extreme taper. All the major volume is in that one little quarter turn, which makes swells really difficult because I just can't do it smoothly. There's always that big jump at the end, and if you want to make a subtle adjustment, good luck, because you've got barely any different, any movement to it. That was a huge difference with like 1/8 of an inch turn. So I'm going to talk to the owner about putting this one carefully in a bag and putting in a better taper volume pot there. The tone pot is also non-original and also doesn't have the ideal taper because it doesn't do that wah thing that a good Tele will do. People will sell you all kinds of caps for that, paper and oil and all kinds of nonsense. That really comes more down to the taper of the pot than whatever the cap is. The electrons don't care. I measured the old ceramic disc in here and it is 0.04 4.7. So it's pretty much brand new condition for a 53-year-old capacitor. I have just a few screws on the pick guard because when the owner does come to check it out, I'm sure that we'll be adjusting the pickup height to his preference. Right now I have it to my preference. So I like as close to a Strat as I can get, and then a bridge which is a little bit more than that. This bridge is very bright. There's no way getting around that. It is a 68. So. So even the net gets kind of bright on this guitar, which is a rarity for Teles. And then the bridge, a lot more output, kind of gives it more snarl. If I lower it to have the same output as that, it'll be way bright. I don't have any nails right now, so. See, I barely touched the volume and I lost it. That's really needs to be changed out. I don't remember how to, well, it's not that I don't remember how to play any Eddie Rabbit songs. I never tried. It's midnight, blah, 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 blah. God, I think I was 9 when that was out. Anyway, that guitar does that thing. And I think, given that I have a good relationship with the owner, next time you hear this guitar, he will be playing it. It will have a new volume pot and a tone pot that does that wah transition, and it'll be super sweet. But given that he went from noiseless to Marzios, this is pretty good for a single coil. This room's not kind to them, so I think you'll be happy with this. And the pickups do sound great. If I could play like Roy Buchanan, I think this bridge pickup would want to take this there. You can pretty much shout into it and hear it through an amp, but I'm not going to do that right now because it would scare the dog.